Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Xanton, and welcome to today's video for Honkai Star Rail. What are we going to be doing today? Well, as you've probably guessed, we're going to be looking at the curios for Simulated Universe, and we're going to be creating a tier list for all these curios based on just how good these curios are. Standard tier list, S rank being just the very, very best. A is just, pretty good, but something holds them back from being S rank. B is also just also a solid, good. C is where I'm going to put a lot of like the situational stuff where it can be good in the right situation. If you have like other like certain characters, other curios, maybe you're on the right blessing. Uh, D tier is just going to be like those curios I think are bad pretty much all the time. And the final slot is the negative curios because really at the moment in Simulated Universe, there is no point for negative curios. I'm doing this video because with the release of patch 1.2, we got Simulated Universe level World 7, and we also got a new Simulated Universe relic set, two of them in fact. And I actually don't see that many people talk about Simulated Universe that in depth. I see people doing like, oh yeah, I can beat like the deer with this character or this team comp. And I feel like curios don't get enough discussion around them. And I feel like you as a player should look at curios more. Because in my opinion, if you know your curios well, you can use subpar, unleveled, underleveled, underfarmed teams to beat all the difficulties of Simulated Universe, and you don't have to worry about like, oh, I don't have a Bronya, I can't beat this difficulty. I don't have I don't have Luocha, I don't have Silverwolf, etc., etc. And personally, I do see a lot of people playing Simulated Universe, and they're choosing curios that are, in my opinion, not as good as other curios they could be choosing. So before we actually start ranking all of these curios, we're going to start with the lowest tier here, the negative curios. That's pretty much all of these clocks here. We're going to just throw them all into this rank. And the reason is, at the moment, again, like I said earlier, there is literally no benefit to negative curios. If you really want to argue, you could say, the dice? Sure, I guess, but this might change in the future. Maybe in other roguelite games, there are actually like these kind of negative curios. They're curio equivalent, relics, items, whatever. And there are these like negative runs, these curse runs, as some people like to call them. So maybe in the future, MiHoYo gives us some kind of like curse benefit, curse payoff. But for now, there is none. Next up, I'm going to do the seals, the wax seals. These things are pretty much the definition of situational curios, in my opinion. So I'm going to put them in the C tier, where I'm going to put in all these like situationally good curios. I do honestly think, I think that's all of them, right? Am I missing one? I might be blind. I do think these things are good if you are one in the right blessing and the other curios that are listed are just not as good. They're fine. Like you're in you chose hunt blessing and you see the hunt seal. Sure, go for it. Anyway, with that said and done though, maybe you disagree. Maybe you think the seals are a little bit better, a little bit worse. I know some people think these wax seals are really, really, really good. I don't think so. At least compared to everything else in the curio list. So, first curio we have here, the dimension reduction dice. This curio, very, very good curio, in my opinion. I wouldn't say it's S tier, and in all honesty, I wouldn't even say it's A tier, but I think it is very good. When you choose the blessing, you get to you get an extra blessing basically, but you only get to choose from 2 blessings instead of 3 blessings like normal. And this can be done twice. So, after 2 times, dice is gone. Only reason I'm putting it in B tier is, well, yes, basically this is an extra 2 blessings. I feel like the blessings or the curios I'll put in S and A tier are going to be just that much better. But I do like this blessing. Next up, we got the tickets here. The first ticket is, I believe it is the Society ticket. Really big fan of this ticket. If you don't know what it does, it is a increases the number of fragments you get from winning battles by 75%, I believe, which is pretty good. I feel like if you are, this ticket is, I want to say it's situational. I do think it's just pretty solid. I feel like if you are choosing this, you better choose it really early on. Because if you don't, if you get it late, then it kind of starts to fall off. Next up, we got the Faith Bond ticket. This one's actually also just really good. In fact, I'm going to put this thing in A tier. Reduces basically the cost for a lot of things to level up blessings, reset blessings, so the reroll mechanic, and I believe it also reduces the cost to reset downed characters, I want to say, which I personally don't use that too much because characters, whenever I'm doing a similar universe run, they very rarely get down. But really, the re-rolls and the leveling up blessings to just get stronger, that 30% discount saves so many fragments. I just think it is really good. Good early, good late, always good. Would I put it in S tier? No, because the things, again, S tier is the best of the best, and we're saving that just for, you know, those insanely good blessings. As for our next one, it is one of the two robes. This robe, I like this robe. Robe of the beauty. I can't remember exactly what its name is, but I really like this robe. I know some people think it's overrated. Old me would have put this in A. I'm putting it in B tier because, so if you don't know, what it does is for every 100 fragments you have, you get an attack increase. All of your allies get an attack increase of 16%. That's a lot of damage. I do feel like, though, if you are taking this, you are kind of blocking yourself out of like Herta purchases, so buying blessings and stuff, upgrading blessings, and re-rolling, which you kind of like doing that. Like those kind of upgrades can easily equal more than a 16% damage increase. But if you get something like, well, like the ticket, like this ticket here, or I believe this little pouch thing here, basically if you get a way to get more fragments, then it's really good. Next up, we got the coins, the golden coins of Discord, I think is the name. I like them. Speaking of like this robe, these coins are also another thing for fragments. Every time you enter a domain, you get fragments equal to, I believe, 6% of the current fragments you have. So, you know, just a little extra money. Really nice. Helps you get more upgrades. Pretty solid in general, in my opinion. Not bad, not amazing, but definitely not situational. So I take it a lot of the time. Next up, one of the scissors. We got two scissors here. We got the first one we're going to talk about, Void Wick Trimmer, and we got these scissors, which we'll talk about a lot later. Void Wick Trimmer, like that's all I can say. Just what it does is it will repair 2 destroyed curios. So, you know, something like the dice, and it is random. You can't choose it. So you could have more than 2 of these like destroyed curios. Like I mentioned, the dice, this glue, I think is also one, this one here, and quite a few others. Really good if you have those things and you still have enough time to make use of those kind of, curios that have usages. So I would put it like very good definition of a situational curio, a C tier curio in my opinion. Next up, record, the vinyl record, the record from Beyond the Sky. Upon entering battle, all allies will nullify all damage received except for DOT until they're attacked. And they cannot also be debuffed, I believe, for 3 turns, which is, I like it. Very good defensive relic. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Doesn't carry you like some of these S tiers will. Like these S tiers, again, these S tiers are going to be really good. So again, best of the best for S tier, but record is really solid. Next up, we got one of the dice, specifically the entropic dice here. Dice are always these kind of weird orange. The dice are just these weird orangey things. I like the entropic dice. Randomly levels up 2 blessings. that's it. Like, this is amazing. Like, A for amazing, I guess. No downside at all. Like, yes, it is RNG, and sometimes you'll have blessings you don't like, but you just chose them because you had nothing better. But that's worth a lot of money, a lot of fragments, like 2 blessing upgrades, 2 blessing level ups, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, pretty good. The other dice, though, the other dice is the RNG bonanza dice, whatever you want to call it. It's like shining. It's like trapeziodrian, something like that. It's like something weird. Shining dice, basically. I will put it in situational. If you don't know what it does, just re-rolls all of your curios. Replaces all the curios you have with different ones, including the dice itself as well. I think it is situational. I know some people would probably put it in B. I know some people would even put it in A. I don't think it's A. I definitely can see arguments for B tier, but I think it's a C tier. Like, it's really good for like negative curios and just like bad stuff in general to get rid of them. And I guess you could also argue, well, you had bad curio luck, but the curio pool is so small. If you're having bad curio luck, something went wrong. Plus, the flip side is it could also turn your good relics or good curios into bad curios. I guess it is, but like I said, definitely situational if you have like bad curios or you got it early so you don't have that many good curios. Next up, probably what I'm gonna put as the first of the S tiers, the Chaos Tramits. I have no idea how to pronounce it. This curio can only be used. Well, not can only be used. Why am I saying that? It can. I'm trying to think of how to put this. Basically, it just lets you increase your blessings or increase the number of blessings you get for every battle. I think that's the way to put it. This is an S tier. I don't think. Let me try and explain that better. The Chaos Tramits, I should really look up how to pronounce that. Chaos thing says that when you get to choose a blessing after a fight, you get one extra, not one extra blessing, sorry, one free, there we go, that's the word. Look, English is a hard language, I apologize. You get one free blessing reroll. You get one reroll, which is like, you might say like, is that really S rank worthy, streamer? Yes. One, it gets to save money, and you can be more aggressive. Like, a lot of the times you'll be like, I don't really like any of these blessings, but this one's okay, so I'll take it because you don't want to spend that 30 fragments, right? I think this is like a good blessing to define S tier curios. I keep saying curios, blessings, whatever, I apologize. You know what I mean. This curio can win you games. You can get like, let's say you're in hunt, you can get like 1 billion hunt blessings with this, and the good hunt blessings at that, and you can just run away with a game with hunt resonance. So yeah, S tier from me. I think it is so good, and I think you should, unless there is another S tier or you have some insanely good curio, always take this. Next up, we have the codes. Unlike the wax seals or the clocks, the codes do all kind of different things, but they're a little more difficult to get. First one we got here is, I believe, the odd code. Again, I'll just say this really quick. All of the codes, they start with something negative and work as a negative curio until you do whatever it is they want. Pretty much just fight some battles. I'm pretty sure all of them just need to fight 3 battles till they turn into, well, a positive curio, basically. Odd code. I like odd code. Odd code, while it's still a negative curio, while it's being fixed, I guess, your characters will lose 30% of their current HP every time they ult, which honestly is not that bad. However, when it's fixed, it gives your characters a full heal, which is pretty solid. Like, just heals them. Like, I'll say it's solid. Could definitely save run, so I think it's solid. Honestly, I don't think it's that B tier. I'm gonna put it in situational tier. I feel like it is iffy. It depends on your characters. So yeah, I'm going to change my mind. I'm putting it in the C tier, situational tier. I honestly feel like a lot of Curios are going to be B and C tier anyway. The next code we have here is the normal code. While it's being fixed, your characters will take more damage if they have less than 50% of their HP, which is not much of a negative. But when it gets fixed, the damage they take is gonna be reduced. So they're gonna just take less damage. I think that's pretty good. Is that like insane for a defensive Curio? No, but it's a pretty good Curio for a defensive Curio. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think any of these are that crazy good. All of these code ones. But I think some of them are pretty solid. Next up, the elegant code. Also similar to the normal code, they will take more damage, but while their HP is below 50%. However, when it is fixed, actions will be forwarded. You know, gotta go fast. Great with things like hunt. Great with damage dealers like, you know, Sushongs, Zeelas. Everyone loves having their actions forwarded, of course. And our next code, we have the mysterious code. When it's being fixed, you know, similar to the previous ones, your enemies will deal more damage. When another enemy is defeated, so you kill something and everything else deals more damage, basically. But when it's fixed, your characters then do more damage. Damage lets you kill things, you win. Pretty good Curio in my opinion. And our final code Curio here, the infinitely recursive code. When it's being fixed, every time you're using a skill, you use 2 skill points. So, you know, you're using 2 skill points instead of 1 every time you use a skill, which is a pretty bad negative, but it's only for 3 battles. However, when it is fixed, your character's basic attacks now recover an extra skill point, which is a pretty solid one. I'd say this is very situational though. Usually we build our teams around skill point management. So while it is nice, you probably have built your team with good skill point management in mind. So yeah, it's nice, but it's not amazing. I guess if you are like a Zeela user, it's much, much better because, you know, you love skill points as Zeela or like a Sheng Shui. And our next one, Shattered Starbait. So this Curio, what it does is, for a long time, I've actually been kind of meh on this. The first thing it does is just increases movement speed by 20%. So, you know, when you're running around, not in battle, you have a 20% increase in move speed, which you might think is just whatever. During combat, your character's actions are forwarded by 10% after they take an action. I like that with just, you know, hunt stuff in general, like hunt blessings and certain characters. And I think it is good enough. But I've actually been thinking, like, that movement speed buff is not the worst when you're trying to kill trotters. Like, occasionally you see a trotter on the overworld and they will see you and start running. They run pretty fast, so this is kind of nice to catch up with them. But really, if you're choosing this, you're choosing it because you care about the action forwarding and making your stuff just hit faster, hit more often is really, really nice. So I will put it in the B tier of just, you know, a solid, pretty good Curio. And our next Curio. Now this Curio, big fan of this Curio. The Warping Compound Eye. When choosing a blessing after winning a battle, level up all 1-star blessings that appear. Really, really good. Like A tier. Like, just the difference between 1-star blessings and 2-star blessings is nuts. Like, I can't emphasize how much of a difference in power level it is. So I really like this. Yes, it might make it hard to get actual 1-stars, but you have other ways besides battles to get 1-stars. It does incentivize you then to go and choose battles over like occurrences. And I know some people prefer occurrences over battles, so yeah. Next up, what do we have though? We got the other scissors here. I don't know about this one. This one's, I guess this is another situational one. Obliteration Wick Trimmer. Upon entering battle, increase all allies' damage by 3% for every destructible object that has been destroyed. When I first saw this, I thought this was actually pretty good because I thought it worked retroactively. If I am wrong, though, and it does work retroactively, this probably goes up a tier. But I'm pretty sure the way it works is after you pick it up, it starts counting destroyed objects. So it is C tier in my opinion. It takes a while to get it up, and honestly, I would want to destroy like 7 objects to get around a 21% damage increase to make this worthy. So if you can find it early on, go for it. If you find it late, it's trash. So very situational curio. Next up, the Laurel Crown of Planar Shifts. Meh. Like, just meh. It's a revive, to put it simply. If you die in a non-boss battle, you don't die. I know it's gonna sound weird here. But if you die, if you're holding the Laurel Crown and you die to a non-boss, so I guess elites will count too. Instead, you actually win, and you get a full heal, and that's it. That's all it does. It's basically a free life, and not even against bosses. So I mean, like, really, this is only gonna be popping against maybe elites, because if you're dying to regular units, you are vastly under leveled and probably shouldn't be in that difficulty level. And honestly, while elites are tough, you don't need it. Yes, you could argue like, oh, if someone gets downed, I could just stop fighting and like just let the enemy kill me to activate this. Yeah, but here's the other thing: when you're getting curios, you're usually seeing other curios, unless you just buy them, I guess, from Herta. This is one of the worst curios to get because usually a lot of the time, this curio is just gonna sit there and do nothing. I really feel like these kind of free life revive mechanics are pretty bad if you've got well-built teams. Next up, the Space Cheese. I'm pretty sure it's not even called cheese. I'm pretty sure its name is Space-Time Prism. I love Space-Time Prism. I do think it is situational, but I'm not going to put it in C tier where I've been putting a lot of more situational curios. I'm actually going to put this in A tier. The Space-Time Prism, what it does is when you enter battle, basically all of your Eidolons, all of your characters get an increase in Eidolon level. So, you have an E0, it's now an E1 in battle. The reason I'm putting it so high is that there are some Eidolons that can really increase the power level of your team. And the reason I'm not putting it any higher is, sometimes you have E6 and this does nothing. Like sometimes everyone on your team's E6 and it's like, well, this is trash. But I feel like this is a very good curio. So definitely don't always just snap pick it up, you see it, but analyze your team, be like, oh, I have this E1 or E0 Sushong. If I get E1 Sushong, that's a huge jump in damage. And next we have one of the other tickets, the third ticket, the Galactic Big Lotto, the Gamba ticket. When you destroy destructible objects, you have a small chance to receive a curio. That's nice. But also, there's a small chance to have this curio get destroyed, and all of your characters go down to 1% of their HP, of their current HP. That's really scary. You might say like, oh man, that sounds terrible. Yeah, but I still am going to put it in S tier. This might be my Gamba brain coming through, but I really like this. Plus, when you do get that curio, it doesn't destroy itself. It only destroys itself after your characters take the damage. So if you get a curio from this, it stays around, you keep destroying stuff, and you get another curio. And potentially you can get a lot of curios using this thing. It's probably one of the weaker S tiers, in my opinion, but I really do think if you have really good luck, this can carry really hard. Speaking of F tiers, we got the little pouch, the little bag. I think it's actually called the Omniscient Capsule. Also S tier, I believe. On the lower end of S tier stuff, in my opinion. But I really like this curio. Works really well with the money robe too. But this curio Destructible objects just appear more often, and the rewards you get from them are doubled up. So you get more money, and you see more destructible objects. So this is great with things that just either want money or want you to destroy objects. So, you know, with the scissors, with the money robe, with the ticket. Pretty good. Next up, though, we've got Punk Lord Mentality. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know where to put this. I think I'm going to put it in D tier. Punk Lord Mentality says that when you enter battle, there's a 100% fixed chance to add a weakness to all enemies. Basically, it gives you a Silver Wolf activation. So yeah, basically implant a weakness into your enemies. And just like Silver Wolf will choose a weakness from the character's elements you're using. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I don't really see, like, maybe there's, like, I don't know. I was going to say, like, maybe mono team, but the only reason you're even playing a mono element team is you have Silver Wolf, so you pretty much already have this. So, yeah, I'm just not a fan of this. Like, yeah. I think this is probably, like, bottom 3 relic, maybe like bottom 5 relics. Like, this is one of the worst relics in my opinion. I keep saying relics, I mean curios. One of the worst curios in my opinion. On the other hand, though, we have the color glue, the color paste. Beacon coloring paste. When you choose a blessing after a battle, one of the blessings will randomly be leveled up. I'm putting it in a pretty good tier. Like, yes, RNG, sometimes it'll level up a blessing you don't care about, but hey, the potential to get 3-star blessings, it's increased, and 3-star blessings are game winners sometimes. So, yeah, if there are, obviously I wouldn't pick it over these up here in S and A tier, but I think it's a pretty solid curio. And then back to bad curios. Sorry. But the next one we have here is the fruit. Fruit of the alien tree. It is bleh. Similar to the laurel. It's a free life here, basically. But it works a little differently. So after you win a battle, your down characters will be revived. Which it's like, okay, that's it. And then it's not even, it doesn't stay around. It will destroy itself too, so it can only be used once. If it could be used infinitely, I'd probably put it in situational, like C tier, but since it destroys itself, I'm putting it in D tier. A lot of the time, in my opinion, it's just going to sit there. It's not really going to do anything, and you're going to just be annoyed that you took it. Next up, we got another one of the code curios here, the corrupted code, I believe is the name of this one. While it's being fixed, I believe your characters will lose their energy when they weakness break stuff, which is pretty bad. It makes your ults harder to use, but when it's fixed, it regens their energy, which in all honesty is kind of whatever. Like, if you need your ults right away, sure. So I'm putting it in C tier. And now, in my opinion, arguably top 2 relic, if not, or sorry, top 2 curio, if not the best curio. The spiderweb, really? Like, I actually don't really remember the name. I believe it is called like insect web. It's something web. It's like spider web or insect web. S tier, like very S tier, like top of S tier. If you've seen this or picked this thing up, you know exactly why it's so good. Also, the only way to even get this is through an occurrence. It does have a downside, but what it does is when you enter battle, their character with the strongest attack, which is most likely your carry, your hyper carry, whatever, will become parasitized. And while they're parasitized, they lose HP. At the start of every turn, they will lose HP equal to, I believe it is 20% of their current HP. Not max HP, current HP. But the trade is their attacks increase by 50%. Also, I believe if they are down, the parasitism will transfer to another random character. But, you know, if you're carry, your high attack character is dying, you're in a bad spot. So your character is losing HP equal to 20% of their current HP every single turn. That's not that much HP and can be mitigated by a healer, a shielder, or whatever, or even just blessings, like a blessing of abundance or like blessing of protection, like, or was it preservation? Qliphot's blessings. So the downside is easily able to be negated, and the upside is insane. 50% increase in attack. That's a lot of attack. Like, you're gonna hit so hard. You're just killing things that much faster. I love it. I always, like, whenever I see this occurrence that gives the insect web, I always take it. I never skip the web. So our next one, though, well, we went from like one of the best blessings, or yeah, I keep saying blessing, one of the best curios to one of the worst curios. Angel IOU dispenser. I think this is definitely also in the bottom. If I had to, I would choose it over the free life stuff, I guess. But Angel IOU, honestly, it might be like situational, but even in certain situations, I wouldn't take it. I usually feel like there are just better curios. Like almost all of these curios, pretty much all these curios are better outside of very, very, very rare situations. What it does is that for the next 5 battles, I believe, or 5 times, every time you win a battle, you no longer get fragments, which is pretty bad. The upside is after this has happened 5 times, the curio gets destroyed, and the amount of fragments you have gets doubled. So it's bad in the early game because in the early game you don't have fragments. It's bad in the late game because you might not be able to have enough time for 5 more battles to activate this 5 times. So really where it shines, if you can even call it shining, is in the mid game when you still have enough time to find battles and you have a lot of money, and on top of that you probably don't want to spend money. So if you run into something like a shop or, you know, Herta shop or something, you really don't want to spend money because, yeah, I don't know. I might be being a little hard on this curio, but I really don't think this curio is that good. I think it is kind of bad, and you should pretty much never, ever choose it willingly. And our next curio, I like it. RNG curio here, Casket of Inaccuracy. But it's a fun curio. Basically what it does is when you pick it up, it gives you 1 to 2 random blessings. Like, yeah, sometimes those blessings are kind of mediocre and don't do anything for your builds, but hey, more blessings is more blessings. You're getting blessings out of the blessing pool for a slightly better RNG too. And if you do get lucky and roll 2 blessings, it's pretty nice, especially if they're blessings you like you're on hunt path and you get hunt blessings. That's great. And now we have the other cheese, Ambergris cheese. After winning a battle, you get HP. Your team is healed by, I believe, 30% of their max HP. This, in my opinion, is going to be the 5th, probably the final, looking at what's left, the final and 5th and final bad curio. I feel like maybe if you have like no healers perhaps on your team, maybe, but honestly, like in the simulated universe, you find healing destructible objects. And if you really wanted healing, you wouldn't want to rely on RNG to find the ambergris cheese. You would just choose abundance, really, or maybe preservation for shield. So yeah, I think it's just bad, and I don't think you should ever choose this. And then probably the best curio you can just randomly get and not have to go through an occurrence like the insect web. We have the glue, the fortune glue. When you're choosing your blessings after you win a battle, all of the blessings that will be shown will be a 3-star. And sadly, it does get destroyed, but there are ways to, you know, make use of destroyed blessings, either by giving them charges back or, you know, re-rolling them with the dice. This is crazy. Like, again, I've mentioned this before with other curios. 3-star blessings carry, and they carry hard. So definitely S tier. Really, really good. Like, so good. Next up, Parchment. I think it's called the Parchment that eats. Love this thing. What it does is when you enter battle, it just deals damage. That's it. Like, very simple, easy to understand. You enter battle, this thing deals damage that is equal to 30% of your opponent's max HP. So it just cuts out a huge chunk of their health. Really, really well with Hunt too, because, you know, there are ways to get guaranteed crits too. But yeah, pretty much every kind of build, every kind of path loves this. Doesn't really carry you as hard as some of the S tiers do, but I'd put it like really high up. But yeah, like these S tiers, all of them can carry a run, potentially. Maybe with a little help, but they're just so good. And our final curio, in my opinion, also another S tier curio, we've got Doctor's Robe. Probably the top 3 curio in the entire simulated universe. What it does is when you enter battle, regens path resonance to max, and on top of that, path resonance damage is increased by 40%. This with Hunt Path is crazy good. You get the Doctor's Robe, you choose Hunt Blessings, you get the Hunt Resonance that lets you get basically double path resonance activations. You shoot arrows again, you get some more energy back, and then you shoot arrows again, and you just keep shooting arrows. I have had this, like with this and Hunt, I have shot arrows like 4 times in a row, completely destroying anything that comes up to me. And any small stuff with Hunt and Doctor's Robe, like regular enemies against Doctor's Robe Hunt, they're not living. Yeah, you could make the argument, well, it's not that great with other paths. Yes. You don't just snap pick this every time you see it. You will have to be like, well, does it work with my path? I'm like, I don't know. I'm on Blessing of Abundance. I'm on Abundance path. Doctor's Robe, even then, it's still fine because, you know, you're regenning path resonance energy, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just really, really good. I take it pretty much every single time I see it. And that is all. That is all of the curios. We have given a good, in my opinion, ranked all the curios from worst curios to best curios, bad, good, and all in between. Love to hear your opinion on this, whether you disagree or agree. I think there's definitely some room for argument, though, for some of these curios. Maybe some of these curios I put very low, you think should be higher. Maybe some of these curios I put really high, you think should be lower. But yeah, I'd love to hear your opinion on these rankings and just what you think of Simulated Universe in general. I like Simulated Universe. I actually know a lot of people are not big fans of Simulated Universe, but I like it. I just like roguelites in general. And I would love to see HoYo just give us more content. More content is always good, but especially more Simulated Universe content. Perhaps something to make these negative curios actually do something. But yeah, that will be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you guys have anything you want to say, any kind of video requests, recommendations for upcoming videos, I'd love to hear down below any kind of requests you have. If you guys just enjoy the video, I'd love if you could leave a like or a comment down below. It always helps me out and always helps out the channel. And if you guys want to keep up with the Honkai Star Rail content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. And if you want to watch me play some Honkai Star Rail, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zeneton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye!